few hours ago we got about 1 inch or 2 of rain. I don't have a rain gauge set up right now, but it's a lot less than we had a few weeks ago. We had about 3 inches a few weeks ago. And you can see the ground's pretty wet right now. That was flowing about an hour after the rain, so I didn't drive all the way out. I parked over here because it was so wet. You can see my truck over there. But there's still water flowing more than there was right when it rained. So a couple hours later, we still have water flowing through the property because there's such a huge watershed over there. That's hundreds of acres that flows all throughout this land and then shoots out across the road. So even though the water is coming from other people's properties, no one lives out there, no one's slowing it down or stopping it, which is the way it's been for, of course, a long time. But they built this road here and it's starting to get eaten away, and it looks like it has been eaten away in the past because of this erosion. So you can kind of see the start of it. The road is literally falling away. That happened after the 3-inch rain event we had. So, and it came from a cut in this berm. There's a berm that's about 3 feet high. You can see it over there. And I think that was built during the construction of the road. But this is what happened just a few weeks ago. So it used to be out to about there maybe, and it all just kind of fell in. You can see where the grass, where the grass is growing is about how far it was. And I found it pretty interesting because there's not only the water that was coming from over the top of the road, but I found this little underground, not creek or stream, but just a little, so you can see the water is barely moving still. But this is underneath the road. I'm really curious where it's coming from. Like what exactly is happening with the geology. Because on the other side of the road is some just grass, really. And you can see here, there's nothing pooling up necessarily. It's pooling up down over there. But this is a cut in the berm right here that allowed that to occur. That road getting eaten away. I don't know, here's a little something. Maybe it's coming from, maybe it's draining from right there. I don't know, could be. So this has been bare for a long time since I moved here last year. Now it's just starting to pop out with this grass. I don't know what it is, but it's got these little red marks every 2 inches or so. So if anyone knows what kind of grass that is, I would love to hear what you think. And then as we go further along, the grass gets taller, and this is really where it starts pooling up and exits down to cross the road again. So I tried building a little rock dam, like a but you can maybe start to hear it, and it gets a little marshier and starts to pool up. See, all this water is just draining from over there. As I said, there's hundreds of acres of kind of a gravelly landscape. As we get closer, it starts to speed up. And you can see the erosion happening. The little rock dam I tried to check dam was right there. And that 3-inch rain event we had a few weeks ago kind of broke it, but the rocks stayed within a foot or two. So they're still helping a little bit, but as you can see, we're getting a complete, you know, it's about maybe a foot deep. And that rock wall is not that high. It's right there. That's like one of the higher rocks that stood up. So yeah, it's not too deep. Whoa! But this is the road, and this is a bunch of debris they threw in at one point. Someone did. As I said, it hasn't rained in a few hours. This is just drainage. And I got through here about an hour after the rain, and looking back, I don't know if I could still get through because that drainage just started to fill up the road with water, like a little pond.